Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Come on, guys!
What's up, everybody? It is the Vegas Take back at you on a Thursday. Thanks for joining us, Sharp and Shapiro. A lot to get to today, as always. So glad you could join us. Danny Tarkanian expected to join us this hour, so we will get to him in a little bit. Mike Babcock, TMZ Sports. Danny Ainge had a heart attack today. That is just, I just saw Danny Ainge last month in Vegas. He looked great.
He looked healthy.
And luckily, from what we can tell from the stories that have come out, he's going to be okay. It was a mild heart attack, but still, man, a former professional athlete who still looks like he's in fantastic shape, having a heart attack at that young age. Very, very, very scary. So we'll get to all those stories. As I said, TMZ Sports' Mike Babcock, in hour number 2. Danny Tarkanian will be joining us here. At least he is expected to in just a little bit. I want to start off. I mean, there's a lot of stories to get to today, but this was the first story that I really wanted to talk about because I think it's really important. You know, we hear about all these stories, heroes, right? Like the Covington kid, right? His family suing all these media outlets for $200 million. They're calling the family, they're calling this kid a hero because he put on a MAGA hat and he had that stupid smirk on his face. And, oh, wow, what a courageous kid. And now he's going to probably be getting paid, probably not $200 million, but he's going to be getting paid a lot of money, right? We have these stories like Dr. Dow, who was dragged out of an airplane. In my opinion, he deserved it because he's a complete imbecile. He deserved to be roughed up if you don't leave a plane when someone tells you to leave a plane. And he got a 7-figure settlement, and morons out there were calling him a hero. No, those Covington kids, they're no heroes. You put on a MAGA hat, you're not a hero. If you refuse to leave an airplane and they drag you out and you win a lawsuit, you're not a hero. Let me tell you what the word hero is and who is a hero, because we had one the other day who lost his life. And we talked a little bit about this shooting in the University of North Carolina in a Charlotte classroom where a gunman went in and killed a few people, and luckily he was apprehended. I'll get to that. So this kid's name is Riley Howell. You might have heard this story. I want to go into detail because this is what a true hero is, and we don't hear about it enough in the media. He was sitting in a classroom the other day. He was thinking about going into the military. He wasn't sure. And a crazed gunman, just walks into the classroom and starts firing at people. There was nowhere to hide. There was nowhere to go. The only place you could do is maybe hide underneath a desk. So what did this kid, Riley Howell, decide to do? He dashed at the gunman, knocked him over. In doing so, saved lives. Unfortunately, his life was taken from him. That is a heroic action. It is risking your life, and ultimately it took his life. And what happened next is the gunman falls over, shoots Howell. Howell immediately lost his life, which is the horrific, unfortunate part of this whole circumstance. But because of this kid, Riley Howell's actions, police moments later were able to go in the classroom and apprehend the suspect who fired and killed Howell and another person and injured several others. Howell was shot point blank, police are saying. That is the definition of a hero. You're no hero if you put a MAGA hat on and then sue for $200 million. Let me tell you something, and I'm so sick of these frivolous lawsuits. You know, I have friends of mine, attorneys in town, that say that they've represented clients that have lost limbs because of drunk drivers, and they've only been able to get $2,000 or $3,000 for the victims. And then you see circumstances like Dr. Dow, like this Covington kid, who in my opinion doesn't deserve anything. Nothing. Okay, yeah, he got some death threats. For about a week or so, his life was very uncomfortable in his family's life. Everything's back to normal for him and his family, no matter what his stupid attorney says. Everything's fine. This kid lost his life. How about his family getting some sort of financial gain for what their very, very brave son or brother did? These are the type of people that deserve it. How about the people who lost loved ones on October 1? How about the heroes on October 1 that risked their lives to save others? Those are the people that deserve some financial gain for their heroic actions. Not those Covington kids, not a guy like a Dr. Dow, not some moron who puts on a MAGA hat and thinks he's brave, because there's nothing brave about putting on a hat. This kid, Riley Howell, who paid the ultimate price and risked his own life, he saved the lives of other people. How about a firefighter that goes into a fire and saves lives? How about a police officer that loses his or her life on duty? You know, I was just reading a story yesterday about, I don't know if you remember this story, JD, about the female officer who was run over 6 months ago by a stupid 17-year-old kid who was driving a stolen vehicle. Just ran her over, mowed her over. She lost her life. A hero, a police officer. Many of these officers are heroes. Not all of them, but most of them. How about her family? How about her husband? How about her kids? Those are the people that deserve something. Some financial gain. Not one of these Covington kids. Not a Dr. Dow. Those are the people that deserve nothing.
And I would even say that Riley is a much bigger hero than, because the police officers, the firefighters, they assumed that risk. Riley Howell assumed no risk. He was a student at a college in a library, in what is arguably considered one of the safest places you can be.
And that's a good point. But you get my point.
I do.
What I'm
I
trying
get what
to
you're
say.
saying.
You're right. I mean, Riley didn't sign up for that.
He didn't sign up for that at all.
And his family it seems to be just a wonderful family. They're saying how proud they are of him, and I'm with them. We all should be proud of people like that risk their own lives and ultimately pay the price to save the lives of others. But you're not going to hear about that. You hear a lot about those Covington kids, especially right-wing media, right-wing radio, you name it, Fox News.
Well,
they call that kid a hero.
So what happened to this kid and his family? His mom, did she lose her job?
No, nobody lost their job. You're talking about the Covington kid, right?
Covington kid,
nobody lost their job. They did get some death threats.
They got some death threats, okay. Which, I mean,
that is in the past now. It's over with. Was it a stressful situation for them?
There are definitely
sure.
some punitive damages attached to that. And
that
the way
kid is no hero.
That the media portrayed, I understand that. But and $250 million is too much money. But a lawsuit being filed from that, and who was the suit filed against exactly?
Some media publications,
which I think is completely reasonable considering how that was handled.
$200 million.
No, not the amount, but
that's
the fact.
Insane.
But the fact that a suit was followed, I think, is reasonable. Granted, it's a very litigious society we live in, but that suit, in my opinion, is not totally frivolous.
If you throw a couple $100,000 at them, I wouldn't be so distraught over that. But the point I'm trying to make is
I'm thinking 250 to 500,000.
that's excessive because their lives are
not that times 1,000.
The kid's lawyer is an imbecile. The kid's lawyer said that it's going to be affecting him, his kids, and his grandkids. That is absolutely ludicrous.
If anything, it's going to help him.
Right.
Get a job down the road.
Exactly. You get I agree with you 100%. This kid, Riley Howell, is gone. He's never coming back. That is a true hero. But if you watch Fox News, the Covington kids, they're heroes. If you wear a MAGA hat, you're a hero. It is nonsense and it is disgusting. We should be talking more about this kid, Riley Howell, and many others. There's a lot of stories out there. I go back to October 1 in Las Vegas. Okay, that is what I go back to. I go back to October 1.
Yeah, like
and all the
people that were taking injured people from the event and putting them in trucks and helping them leave. I mean, again, no one signed up for that. No one assumed that risk.
Right.
And it's the same situation with Riley Howell. And I totally agree with you. Riley Howell should be discussed much more, especially as a hero, than anyone involved in the Covington situation.
It's heroic. And I'm so tired. And again, I am going to go back to Donald Trump on this one because I believe, well, not that I believe, it's just true. Donald Trump has used our justice system and the court system as a game. That is not a game. Okay, it's not a game. All these ridiculous lawsuits. I'll give you a perfect example. Bill Maher, I remember years ago. This was when Donald Trump was saying that Barack Obama wasn't born in this country for years and years, which he was wrong about, by the way. It was ridiculous, but Barack Obama didn't sue him for defamation. And then Bill Maher does a show, and he says, I want Donald Trump to show his birth certificate because I believe he's the son of an orangutan, which I thought was funny. I thought it was funny. And then Donald Trump, what does he do? He sues Bill Maher. That's right. A lawsuit against Bill Maher. Now, eventually it was dropped because it's completely ridiculous. That was comedy. But that's what I'm talking about here. And I want to take some phone calls on this. Do you think these Covington kids are heroes? Do you think a guy like a Dr. Dow is a hero for acting like a complete moron and not getting off of a plane and then getting paid off? It disgusts me. It's embarrassing, and it should embarrass you. This isn't about politics. It's the true meaning of the word hero. Riley Howell is a hero, and people should be supporting that family. That's what we should be doing. Not supporting the Covington kids, not supporting people like that, because they are no heroes. The number to call if you want to be a part of the show, 257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the program, 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's start off with Gary. Gary, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. What's on your mind, Gary?
Hey, thank you. I want to say a couple things real fast.
Yes.
We need tort reform. There's too much sue this person, sue this person, sue that person. Why don't we just sue the Catholic Church for teaching, be fruitful and multiply and causing all the problems that they're doing over there and stuff like that.
Well, I think there's a lot of different situations out there in the world, and I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of fabulous lawsuits out there, and to me it's disgusting. I don't think the Covington kids deserve any money, just like I don't think Dr. Dow deserves any money. I do not believe that we should reward people who do not deserve it. And this kid...
I want people to become doctors, and bring down the cost of health insurance and stop being lawyers.
Do you know why? Do you know why our insurance, Gary, is so high?
A lot of lawyers are called snakes. A lot of them are snakes. And somebody, I don't know who said it.
A lot of them are. You're right. I agree.
We had to kill all the lawyers.
Yes.
I don't know. That was Shakespeare or somebody said that.
No, I agree. I agree, Gary. Hey, always good to hear from you, my man. Thank you for the call. If you want to be a part of the show, 257-5396. Again, the number to call, 257-5396. We are joined in studio by Danny Tarkanian. Danny, always good to see you, my man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Got to get some glasses. I can't read your text anymore. I thought you said
that's okay.
6:30.
You're
so
here.
I apologize.
That's okay. You are here. That's all that matters. I like your shirt, by the way. Tarkanian basketball. I like it. I like it. I like it. We are going to talk a little basketball. I want to get your thoughts on the NBA playoffs and all that stuff. But, Danny, the point I tried to make is, this horrible shooting that took place at University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And I was talking about the hero, Riley Howell, who, I don't know if you heard this story, but he darts at the shooter, right?
Yeah.
And he loses his life, which is just horrific, but he saved the lives of others. And these are the types of stories that we should be talking about. Instead, we hear about, the guy like a Dr. Dow, who is, the guy that was pulled off the airplane. Oh, my God, he's a hero. So nobody else is treated like him. He's a moron. He didn't get off the plane. And look, I don't want to attack these Covington kid who, that whole situation. I'm not trying to attack the kid. But is he a hero? Absolutely not. Why? Because he was wearing a MAGA hat and he had a smirk on his face? That's why he's a hero?
Okay, Dr. Drew, is that his name? The guy who
Dr. Dow, the
Dr.
airplane
Dow,
guy.
the guy who got on the plane was the biggest idiot.
Thank you.
He caused all the problems. And yes, maybe they went to such extreme measures because they had to, because he was so obnoxious. But I got to disagree with you on the Covington kids. Look, they're not. No one's saying they're heroes. But what do they go? What do they go through? Well, what do they go through? And most people that can understand the type of hatred and vitriol that goes on in those type of situations, and where these kids, all high school kids, how to endure it. And again, clearly unreasonable attacks, ridiculous attacks on them. They paid a huge price for something that wasn't their fault.
What do you mean they paid a huge price?
And the media that helped to create that circumstances should be held accountable for it if they did commit slander against them. What do you mean a horrible price? For several days, people were saying that these kids were racist, that they picked a fight with the Native American.
They dealt with that for a week, and one of the kids
exactly.
and one of the kids got some death threats.
Everybody across the country.
I understand.
And the people
not everybody. I didn't do that.
Well, the people that they sued did. Washington Post.
I understand.
CNN. All those people.
You think those kids deserve $200 million for a week of dealing with what they dealt with? Really?
They're not going to get $200 million. But you know what?
You think they deserve seven figures?
But you look at it backwards. I think, and this is what happens in slander and defamation lawsuits, and I'm involved in one with Jackie Rosen right now, so I can give you firsthand. It isn't what I deserve or what those kids deserve. It's the penalty that should be imposed upon those type of media outlets or individuals who intentionally slander and destroy somebody's good name just so they can benefit, whether it's financially to get better ratings for the stations, or in my case, so a lady could become a U.S. senator. It's called punitive damages.
So
and
let me
that's
ask
where
you
the
a question,
punitive damages are to punish.
Brian,
it's not to reward.
It sets a serious precedent, and that's why the amount is so high.
All right, well, let me open up the phone lines. I want to know what you guys think out there. I think me and Danny disagree a little bit on this issue. 257-5396, number to call, 702-257-5396. You can make the argument that MSNBC slanders Donald Trump, but you could also make the argument for 8 years Fox News slandered Barack Obama. Could you not? I'm asking
talking to me?
Yeah, I'm absolutely. Can we be fair on both sides?
No, absolutely not.
So you don't think Fox News slandered Barack Obama at all? You don't think Sean Hannity slandered Barack Obama?
You're taking it a whole different way. There are certain people on Fox News that are more adamant protecting their conservative base, and they maybe had more personal attacks on Barack Obama. But there were people on Fox News that supported Barack Obama. And
Not a lot of them.
Well, there were some. They always do. Well, you know what? Fox News always has one or two people that support the other side that are on the shows. My wife's on MSNBC, Alex Witt, every Sunday at 10:30.
Yep.
And she goes on every time. There's 3 people against her and just her. That's for her.
I understand.
Fox News, they usually try to make a one-on-one. And
and
again,
I like that.
And the announcers or the moderators, whatever you want to call them,
right?
Sure, they're more conservative. They're protecting the conservative base, but it's nothing like what MSNBC does.
Okay, well, we're going to disagree on that, too. I think, by the way, I like the fact that your wife goes on MSNBC, and I tell people this all the time, Danny. I think more people on the right should go on MSNBC and CNN, and I think more people on the left should go on Fox News. It's good political discourse, and I'm sure you would agree with that. Why don't we take a few calls on this? Let's see what everyone thinks. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Let's start with Mac. Mac, what's up?
Hey, guys, I was calling you. When you're comparing the Covington boys to this kid that was a hero, and I agree.
I'm not comparing.
Every word that he is an absolute hero in what he did to help protect those people in that classroom.
Mm-hmm.
But to say he deserves financial gain diminishes what he did.
I'm not trying to diminish what he did. What I'm trying to say is...
Absolutely. Because
no, I'm not.
You're saying that because he lost his life, that his family deserves financial gain for that. And it totally sends a backward message.
No, it doesn't.
This kid sacrificed his life, and then because of that, his family deserves some kind of financial gain to help them out.
The point, you're totally misrepresenting the point that I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is there are too many fabulous lawsuits out there, and I think the people that we should be helping are the families, perhaps, that lose loved ones in war, the families that lose people like Riley Howell, who was a hero. I would rather they are taken care of than somebody like a Dr. Dow or this Covington kid. That is the point I'm trying to make. In no way, shape, or form am I diminishing. In fact, it is the opposite. What I'm trying to say is we should be talking about Riley Howell more in the media and talking less about somebody like a Dr. Dow. That is exactly the point I'm trying to make.
Well, and I agree. Dr. Dow is an idiot. But I guarantee you that family, the last thing they're thinking about is receiving any kind of financial aid.
I didn't say that.
It used to be charity work, churches, communities helping to take care of that family going through such a traumatic event and losing their son. And that's where charity comes in, and caring for others around you. That's where that would naturally take place.
I hope it does.
And Brian, one of the reasons why Dr. Dow and was it United? So was that the airline that kicked him off?
Yes.
Are being talked about in the media is because their competition lobbies for that to happen because it's bad for United, and there's such steep competition in the airline industry.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we all, including Danny, we all in the studio agree Dr. Dow was a moron. We all could agree on that.
It's just
that story got me really
money.
pissed off. But people were calling him a hero.
Right.
If you want to talk about diminishing the word hero, Dr. Dow's no hero. He's an imbecile. Okay, if I was sitting next to him, I would call him that. I would say, why don't you donate all your... I know he does some stuff for charity. He also lost his license as a doctor. He had a bad past, that guy. But anyway, that's another story. I don't want to go back into that story. But 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Kelly. You're on with Danny Tarkanian. How are you, Kelly?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
Two things. One, are you saying fibulous or frivolous?
Frivolous. That's I guess I struggle with that word sometimes. Frivolous lawsuit.
Frivolous.
It's tough rolling off my tongue.
It's difficult.
The other issue is
Kelly is an attorney, so she understands that.
That's right.
You're talking about how Fox News talked about Barack Obama and trying to compare that to the Nick Sandman Covington case. The difference is that Obama's a public figure. This Nick Sandman was just a kid from high school, and there are different, thresholds that you have to meet with slander and defamation when you're dealing with a public figure versus, just a regular person.
Okay, well, my point still stands, though, and I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Look, we could dispute and argue. Look, for a week, that kid's life was difficult. So was his family's life. Never want to get a death threat. Well, yeah, I mean, his life is back to normal now, Danny. There's not. He's fine now. People have called him a hero.
Well, there's some that are still believe. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Not technically. I mean, the problem is we live in an internet age. So anytime someone types in Nick Sandman in Google, you're going to see the word racist pop up.
Oh, come on.
You're going to see all these
no logical person thinks he's a racist. Come on. That is way in the past. I completely disagree with you.
But you're missing the point. There are a lot of illogical people out there.
Well, yeah. You can't. So what are we going to do? Are we going to file lawsuits against every single illogical person?
No, just the people that lie about you, like CNN and Washington Post, that create that narrative so ignorant people would believe it.
First of all, last I checked, CNN didn't lie.
No, they're part of the lawsuit.
Yeah, I understand they're part of the lawsuit, but I don't know of anyone that is an actual news anchor that lied. Okay.
Well, those lawyers that have filed those lawsuits certainly believe that's the case, because as the lady who's talking to you now just stated, for them to show defamation, you're going to have to show that it wasn't the truth.
Well, I think Sandman's a liar. I'll say that right now on the air. Do you know why I say that, Danny? I'll tell you why. Because he did. No, I'll tell you. You can laugh, but I'll tell you why.
Goodness.
He did an interview. Okay, and he said he was trying to de-escalate the situation. Now, number one, they told him to say that.
Hold on. You're wrong. That wasn't him that said he was de-escalating.
Oh, really?
It was the Indian guy.
Not
that
true.
Said he, the
Not
Native
true.
American.
I'll find the audio and I'll play it in the second hour. I'm not making that up. He did an interview where he said he was trying to de-escalate the situation. You don't de-escalate a situation by standing your ground a foot away from somebody with a stupid smirk on your face.
Wait. This guy had stated, and I don't know what your words he used. He had stated that he felt this was going to be a violent situation or whatever it was, so that he did not want to cause anything to make it erupt. So he stood there and he tried not to make any
smirk on your face.
Well, that's the smirks when they're banging the drums in the face and yelling.
You think that's respectful?
Do I think it's respectful? I think it's incredibly not respectful for the Native American to come into his body space, bang the drums in his face, and then start chanting in his face, hoping that he's going to respond to something. It was all the Native American face. Oh, what are you talking about backing up?
I wouldn't have a smirk on my face.
Well, and again, this didn't take place. This radical group was trying to turn a public park into their stomping grounds.
Well, I understand that, and I'm not defending them. They were the starter of this situation. The point I'm trying to make is you act
like because somebody comes up and they start doing something really wrong that you should walk away and run away from the person. That's so wrong, and it's wrong.
That's not what I said.
It's wrong to expect that from anybody who has freedoms and liberties in America.
I think it is.
He was there first. They were there. They're peacefully waiting for a bus to pick him up, and the Native Americans came into his face. In fact, if you watch the tape, the Native American walked right up to him and started chanting and banging the drums in his face.
Situation by standing your ground and with a stupid smirk on your face?
Absolutely, by not saying anything back to him. No,
that's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous is for you to say the guy should have ran and hid.
He
probably should have ran and hid behind the car.
When did I say that?
What should he have done?
Okay, in that
situation, walked away so then the Native American was coming after him again?
First of all, there was no Native American going after him. Okay, there were no weapons.
He walked right up to him and he banged the drums in the face. I did too.
I saw the video just like you did. Okay, he wasn't going after him. Okay. He was walking around beating the drums.
He came right into the guy's face.
Okay, first of all, he didn't go right into his face.
My
That's not true. I watched the video. Number two, you asked me, what would you do in that situation? Okay, I'll tell you what I would do, or I'll tell you how I would tell someone else to handle that. If you really want to truly de-escalate a situation, don't stand right there with a smirk on your face. Here's what I would do. I would back up a few feet with my friends. All the other kids were backed up a few feet. Back up a few feet. There's no law that says you have to do that, Danny. But if you want to de-escalate a situation, that is, I think, the best way to handle that, especially if it is a volatile situation.
If you want to be a coward and have to run away because somebody comes up to you and starts invading your space and trying to humiliate you, sure. I didn't ask what you would do. We talked about what he should have done. I don't believe this kid should have had to turn and run away from the guy, walk away from the guy, hide behind the bus until somebody else came.
Didn't say hide behind the bus.
Because the Native American guy came right at him and started chanting in his face and banging the drums. That person was the one that was wrong. And if you talk about somebody who was caught lying, that guy was caught lying all the way through.
I have said that on the air over and over again that guy's a lying scumbag. I've said
over
that
the place,
over and over
he's the
again.
one who started it. So
But
this
that
guy,
is a separate
this
issue.
guy, you know, when I was growing up, you talk about the guys that were bad guys and tough guys. If you would have came up to a guy like that when I was in high school, they would have took a swing at that guy.
Well,
they would
and
have
you
knocked
would have
him
gotten
out.
arrested.
Well, you know what? That's fine.
'Cause that's breaking the law. That's assault.
That's what people would. That's what other people would do.
Well, and that's
this
wrong.
kid didn't do it. Exactly. This kid didn't. All he did was
So you
stand
wanna
his
give him a
ground
reward?
and not make any. No,
Is
I
he a
don't.
hero?
I don't think he should have been slandered. I don't think he should have been.
Didn't say he should have.
I
Didn't
don't.
say
Well,
he should have.
well, he was. He
Didn't
was
say he
by
should
the
have been
Native American. He
didn't-
was by CNN. He
Didn't
was by
say
the
he should
Washington
have been
Post.
slandered, but I
and
think
that's
he
why
lied when he said he was trying to de-escalate the situation. If you de-escalate the situation, you back
That's
up
why
a
they're
couple
suing
feet.
him. Well,
Okay.
that's your de-escalation.
I hope he doesn't get a dollar.
His de-escalation is he didn't aggressively get into this man's body, face to respond.
I'm going to tell you right now, I hope he doesn't get $1, Danny. I hope his family doesn't get $1 because, in my opinion, they do not deserve it, and I think the kid is a liar.
I don't think you'll be on the jury.
Okay, well, I hope I am. I hope I am. We got a lot of calls, Danny, to get to, and we only have 1 minute. So here's what we are going to do, folks. The number to call, 257-5396. I always love a good debate with Danny Turkana. We always get into it. I love it. We have 6 people on hold. So if you lovely 6 people will gladly wait on hold, I promise you we will get to all your calls when we come back. We got to take a quick break, and hey, maybe you agree with Danny, maybe you agree with me. That's what makes America great, right? Not to use a Donald Trump slogan, because I don't want to repeat really anything he says, but hey, you know, we all have different opinions, so we will take some phone calls on the other side of the break when it comes to this issue, and I want to talk more about Riley Howell. This is a true hero, okay? This is somebody that saved lives. His own life was taken. It's horrible. It's tragic. I want to talk more about stories like this, and yes, I do think Riley Howell's family, I hope that they could set up some sort of fund to pay for funeral costs and to pay for other things and maybe put a scholarship in his name or something. I think that'd be fantastic. 257-5396, the number to call. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You are listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.